Thank you, Mike. This is The Talk Tonight here on CBS 5. Up first this evening, the 3 pit bulls found in Syracuse earlier this week. Now at the DeWitt Animal Hospital, police have already made 2 arrests. 2 arrests of people they say severely neglected at least one of these animals. But there are more suspects out there, and sadly, there are more pit bulls out there in dire situations in the city of Syracuse and beyond. We bring in now Stephanie Higgins with Cuse Pit Crew, a group that does good work with our pit bulls in central New York, and you're celebrating a year in existence,
right?
A
1-year anniversary, yes.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on that. Over the course of the year of your group doing work in and around Syracuse, are things getting better or worse when it comes to the neglect and mistreatment of pit bulls?
I would say at this point, it's not getting any better or any worse. But what's happening is because different groups such as ours and the Animal Alliance of Greater Syracuse and other advocacy groups are out there, we're just knowing more about it. The cases we're getting phone calls and emails, and police department are knowing more about these cases. So I think it's not getting any better or worse. There's just more of an awareness. What's
the biggest problem, the single biggest problem with pit bulls in the city of Syracuse that you're encountering? What's happening?
What's happening right now in Syracuse and in many other urban and rural areas even is they're using them to what is called backyard breeding. And they're mass producing dogs, and most of them just happen to be pit bulls. And then when this happens is they're selling these dogs for a very decent amount of money. They can make $200, $300 off of one puppy, and these puppies are going at very young ages, and oftentimes they're ending up in not so great hands. Even in Syracuse here, we're seeing dog fighting happening, and that's another whole issue in itself. So a lot of these dogs will end up in dog fighting rings.
Dog fighting. So this is like a Friday night thing that people are getting together? This is like a sponsored event?
Yeah, it could be a Tuesday night thing, a Wednesday night thing. Yes, it's happening very often in Syracuse.
What happens to a dog at the end of a dog fight? Does it always die? Does one of them always die?
It doesn't always die. They don't always die, but most of the time they're suffering. There's very awful ways that they do end up dying if, say, they lose a fight, and it's very unfortunate. So we're working at trying to change that.
You have a meeting tomorrow with some Syracuse Common Councilors. Tell me about that.
That meeting is very exciting that this is happening. Syracuse Common Council is very interested in making changes along with us. So a couple of the things we're going to talk about with them is this issue of backyard breeding and dog fighting. And we're looking to proceed with some local legislation that will be against both of those issues. So tomorrow at 4:30, it's actually a public forum where the Syracuse Common Council are going to listen to various advocates and our concerns. Now, the 3 dogs we've been talking about very likely were results of backyard breeding.
Backyard breeding. Hard to, I would imagine the conversation about legislating that will go in many different directions. You've got people who aren't following the law to begin with. They may not respect another one on the books, but we appreciate your work.
Thank you.
It's a noble cause. Thank you so much, Stephanie.